Hey, what's up, ghouls and gals? Today we are doing a follow-up to a video I did a little while ago talking about scenes in movies that, as a seasoned horror person, what I'm trying to get at is, like, I don't normally have a weak stomach when it comes to things. I'm generally not fazed by a lot. However, I do have, like, a specific group of things that I am very uncomfortable with, and you will see. The last video I did of this was all eye trauma because I am particularly sensitive to eye stuff. I don't like watching Alex put in or take out his contacts even. But I feel like I've unpacked a lot of my trauma here on this channel, so let's do more of that today. If you enjoy, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more, check out all of my links down below if you would like to see any more, or support the channel any further. I will preface this by saying, spoiler alert for 8 movies, not all of them horror. And if you are specifically sensitive to vomit or eye trauma or teeth trauma, just any kind of bodily trauma, I'll see you in the next video. But let's start off with the most recent film I believe on this list, with Bring Her Back. And this had some, like, incredibly wince-inducing moments, but one that really made me uncomfortable that I had to look away immediately was when our beloved Ollie goes to eat and chew on a knife, and he starts crunching on a butcher knife, and it is so... I have so much trauma revolving teeth. I've had a lot of bad experiences revolving around my teeth specifically. Seeing that happen to another person, seeing another person just, like, willingly butcher their mouth and for it to be such a small child, like, I know, like, Alex even said if you just take out the sound mixing and take it out of context, you'll just hear, like, rubber on rubber with the fake teeth and probably the rubber knife. But it is just, it's so horrible to watch when everything is the finished product. And speaking of stuff like that, let's talk about our next film, Tetsuo the Iron Man. Big fan of this one. I think it is really cool, very inventive. However, as someone, once again, with sensitive teeth, it is so hard to watch that film and listen to the teeth, the metal grinding on teeth. It sounds like it's just digging away at the back of your brain when you're listening to it, and I had to, like, plug my ears when we were watching that movie because it was just so visceral for me. And let's wrap up the teeth trauma with the entirety of The Dentist 1 and 2. One of my biggest fears, I'm not afraid of a lot of things. Like, I'm very much, like, okay with bugs and just, I'm not scared of a lot of things. But dentists, some of the scariest real life horrors that I've ever had were involving a dentist. So when we watched The Dentist Part 1 and 2, I was having, like, war flashbacks. Like, I was having, like, I went through such... I can just go ahead and tell you what happened at one point in my life in the 7th grade. I was having a root canal, and I felt everything. And I was trying to communicate to the dentist and the dental assistant that I was in pain. I was screaming, crying. I didn't know what to do, so I passed out. Fast forward to me having so much fear and that happening, and I ended up having a cavity so bad about 4 years ago that I had to get pulled out, and once again the dentist did not believe when I told them that I was not numb enough and I could feel everything. And if I can find it, I will insert a photo of the tooth that I had removed. It is very graphic. But I kept it as a badge of honor. But after I had that tooth removed, it was so painful and so scary. I screamed, I cried in the chair. Like, it was honestly a horror movie for me. And I know I was probably I'm not good with oral pain. I'm fine. Like, I literally had cancer. I am cancer free. I am 9 years cancer free. I am 10 years sober this year, and I am more afraid of teeth trauma than anything else. But anyways, after I had that massive tooth removed, we got in the car and I just screamed and I wailed, I cried. It was so traumatic for me. And after that, we found a really great dentist, very gentle, actually believes when I say that I was not numbed enough. And the last time that I went, I had a really positive experience. So I feel like in my 30s now, I'm a little less afraid of the dentist, but the horror movies still get to me. Anyways, let's talk about something that I'm still not all the way okay with: puke. So let me put you on a little film called 964 Pinocchio from 1991, an actual attack on the senses. Anyways, this movie has like a 5-minute long vomiting sequence that is so disgusting, so visceral. It is so all over in public. It looks so real, but in my research I have found that it was not real. However, I kind of don't believe that because it is so, like, it looks very authentic. And after a while, I closed my eyes, I plugged my ears, I couldn't take it anymore, and it just kept going and going and going. And I couldn't watch. I had a reaction and I could not watch until that whole 5-6 minute sequence was over. It was so hard for me to get through. Definitely a unique film. So if you've seen that one, let me know your take on it. But let's talk about a non-horror film. I would still go as far to say that it's kind of horrific, but let's talk about Club Zero from a couple of years ago. Now, this one is starring Mia Wasikowska, and she is so scary in this role. She pretty much plays a teacher of sorts who starts an after-school club for these kids to essentially have an eating disorder, and the club itself is called Club Zero. And she's trying to have the kids compete to see how thin they can get. And just, it's very yucky in themes and all of that. But there is a specific scene where a young girl literally throws up and then eats it. And I don't think I will be revisiting that film. It was so shocking for me. We were watching it, everything was fine. And then I was like, oh, like it just progressively got worse. But I mean, it was a really good movie. It's just that scene alone made it a one-time watch for me, as well as 964 Pinocchio. All right, let's talk. I feel like there is a reason that I do not like, besides eye trauma. I've never had any kind of ocular trauma personally. All of the things I'm afraid of, I feel like I have a reason to be afraid of them. We've unpacked a lot of the vomit stuff already. Definitely check out my earlier videos for more trauma dump. But like, I currently have stage 2 vein disease in my right leg. And when I think back and when we rewatch The Ruins, there is the scene. So anyways, seeing the little vine things get in the skin and move around in the skin is kind of what my leg reminds me of right now, because I'm in pretty bad shape. But it literally looks like my veins are so bad in my right leg that it looks like the little veins or little tree vines or under whatever, you've seen the movie. It just looks like that's under my skin and it freaks me out so bad. But specifically the scene where the one guy's leg gets cut off and then they have to like cauterize his leg with like a pan and open flame. Like, it's so boots on the ground survival. It's so scary. It's so scary to ever think about having to be in a situation where you have to cut off and cauterize someone's leg. Excuse me, what? Like, that was some knee down shit. Like, and that freaks me out specifically because the first doctor that I went to for my leg kind of fear-mongered me into thinking that I was going to have a full amputation. And for almost a full year, I thought that I was going to lose my whole leg until I saw and got a second opinion. And now it's just a very expensive surgery that I have to have. But anyways, I've always had a ick for Achilles tendon trauma, and I'm gonna throw something completely out of left field for you. Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Park Chan-wook. There is a scene near the end where the men are standing in water about knee deep, I believe. I'm trying to do this from memory. And it cuts to a shot underwater where you see a man's bare foot, bare ankle, and then snip the ankle, and it's just so right in your face and so abrupt. I wasn't expecting it, and I literally winced, and I was like, okay, we gotta move past this. It was so bad. I was fine the whole movie. It was a really great movie. We recently just watched that whole trilogy, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Old Boy, and Lady Vengeance, and Lady Vengeance I think was my favorite, but oh my goodness, that first just Achilles tendon cut was just something new that I'd never seen. The underwater, the blood, it was, oh my god, a lot, but very well done. I'm pulling out my phone for this one. Do you guys recognize that face? It's from the movie Dead and Buried, and there's a scene where this man is literally in a full-blown face cast, and a nurse comes in, and this man can't move, he can't go anywhere, and she sticks a syringe with a needle in his eye, and it's an like, you're just there for the ride. It's shots like that make me so afraid of inescapable deaths, and that's what my next video is going to be on. A whole list of films that have scenes with inescapable deaths. So on that note, I hope you liked the more sit-down yap video. Sorry for trauma dumping on you again. Actually, I'm not sorry. We are close personal friends here. So I will see you in a few days. I hope you've been enjoying my shorts where I've been sharing a movie clip every day for the month of September. Movies that start with the letter S. So in saying that, I will see you soon. Sayonara, Movie Fam.